See, now it says stop. Okay, it did it. Welcome. This is for Across the Decades. Now, I will tell you, I have been a slacker. I did not look up the 1950s. I totally forgot. I have had my project partially done since December before we started the project. So this is for the Across the Decades. I have a Facebook group, and what we've been doing is visiting a different decade every month. So the month of June is the 1950s. So we'll obviously primary colors, full skirts, after World War II. So let's just check it out on my phone. Normally I do a paper, 1950s inventions, credit cards. Woo! The hydrogen bomb, transistor radio, uh, radial tires, non-stick pans, computer hard disk, um, remote controls for your TVs, antihistamines. Fender guitar introduced the Broadcaster and the Esquire models. Telephone answering machine. Superglue. Videotape recorder. Power steering in your car. The first heart-lung machine that had allowed them to do open heart surgery. Cameras were sold with built-in flash. Mr. Potato Head. I'm sure we all remember Mr. Potato Head. Barcodes started, like for patents and barcodes. Chrysler, again, power steering. Sony was a new company that introduced the first pocket-sized transistor radio. The first 3D movie. Cricket and Watson discovered the double helix of DNA. Contact paper for like your kitchen drawers. Jonas Salk discovers the vaccine for polio. The first instant iced tea. Saran wrap. Solar cells. The first kidney transplant. Colored kitchen appliances. Tetracycline. Optic fibers. Flash-o-matic, which was your remote control for your TV. The first oral contraceptives, the pill. Microwave ovens, which they had been introduced in the 40s, but now they're available to use in your home. So they must have been available in the 40s only in a commercial aspect. Computer hard disk, hovercraft, Scotchgard. A secretary invented Mistake Out, which was later renamed to liquid paper. The first commercial videotape recorder. Fortran, which was a computer language. Velcro. AA size batteries. A modem. A laser. The hula hoop did not come around until 1958. I would have thought it was earlier. An integrated circuit, I'm assuming for electricity. Stereophonic recording. came into commercials for TV. A pacemaker in 1959. And so then let's check out fashion, which we know some of this we grew, like the poodle skirt, sweater sets, short sleeves, a slim look, a very slim waist. You can probably see more if I go to images. It's that hourglass figure with the really full skirts. I think you're losing the hat. It's only like for dress up. You're not seeing pedal pushers, more leisure wear again. Jeans are going to start being more readily available to women, especially. But people are still dressing up for evening. Bobby socks and penny loafers. Marilyn Monroe, Audrey Hepburn would be big influences. Doris Day. Maybe Doris Day and Audrey Hepburn even into the 60s. Elvis Presley, obviously. Kind of a motorcycle culture is starting, like a teen rebellion. All right, so what I have is a sewing pattern that was for a dress, and it was, let me put it back, it's been cut apart. And she's on the telephone, because having a telephone in your home was a big thing back then. And what I did was I found scrapbook papers that I liked to use. I thought I'd put this little quote that says, "Hello, friend." This is scrapbook paper, jelly printed paper in the back. We were jelly printing. There's some jelly printed sewing tissue on here. So I thought I'd put this right here. It already has a coat of the gel medium already on it. But I'm going to give, it's been sitting around. I'm not so worried about the dress, but I'm going to give it a real quick coat when I glue this down. And just give her another, because she's been sitting around waiting till this decade came. And I'll zoom the camera in a little bit too. And I'm not going to worry about the background because that's already been coated. Did somebody have a link for the birthday year? I wasn't born till 1961. So I'm just going to have to take everyone's word on it for the 50s and what I know from television. Alright, so let me turn on dry this. And I'll pull out my colors that I use for the skin. I gotta make sure this is dry. Oh, I'm a baby. Okay. Now the cherries I'm gonna put on there, but I'm gonna put on the little the embroidered cherries at the end with the white paint pen. Yeah. Now Bob's 1957. My mom and dad were born in 1940. See, this is where I get in trouble. This little dress was lurking, had, when I pushed down, gel medium came out. This is a zig, which is not waterproof, but I don't have a dark green or a dark teal. So what I'll do is I'll use this first, and then I'll come in with some gray. Because the teal's not the right color anyways. But when I come in with the dark gray, and I may even use some black. Right now what I'm working on is just the flow of her skirt. And getting some shadows in there. All right, so I'm fairly pleased with that. Let me zoom the camera in. And then you'll just have to kind of yell at me if I'm off camera. So that's just, like I said, adding some shadows and some depth to the fabric to give it movement. Done with that part, except for the cherries. Like I said, we'll get to that later. I think I'm going to switch to, I have a light teal, and I think I'm going to switch to the lighter gray. And I may not even use the teal much at all, because the teal will bring that cream to darken that too much. So I think I'll use just the gray. I'm not going to worry about the phone cord yet. And then I'll probably take the dark gray and add those harder lines. Okay. And it's just an illusion. It's not really that much. It's defining edges, um, putting in those shadows. Okay, and then we've got like a dark line there, dark line there. Okay, I'm pleased with her dress. I'll worry about the phone cord later. I need to get this off her leg. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this part of the phone just so I can use it to help keep that white. I'm going to start on the skin, and I'm going to start with the light. Hi, Anonymous. Don't you hate when it does that? It logs you out and you got to log back in. Alright, so this is, I'm just going to rub on, this is the light. Flesh tone. And then I use a cinnamon color to help give me a little more definition. There's also a medium flesh tone that's kind of pinky. Excuse me. Okay, I need to get her shoe in here. I've lost her foot, so we're just gonna wing it on the shoe. And I'm assuming it's some kind of pump. There's a tip of this shoe sticking out. I think that's too far down for the heel. And this little white part I'll get rid of in a minute. And what I'm going to do is just take a golden brown, which kind of matches that color in the background, and just blend it. And it's not a perfect, like, the angle might be kind of off. But I think it'll be fine. So you can sort of kind of exaggerated, which often on the patterns, the foot is sometimes exaggerated. Alright, that needs to dry before I touch it anymore. I am going to add a shadow around here while I'm down here and have gray on my hands. I'm just trying to clean up that shoe just a little bit more. Okay. I'm going to work on the arm. And the face. Let me turn this around for just a minute. saw a black spot up there that had gotten off a gray. Okay, so for the hands and the face and all of that, it's lighter than the black for the telephone. So I'm just going to not worry about anything right now as far as what's bone and what's hair. Usually what I do on the face is just bring it up where I know I've covered the face. And I have a decent blend. Alright, and then for this arm, I want to do the same thing. I know her hand goes in here, and there's a phone, but I'm not really going to worry about the phone because the black is darker. Okay. There's a line that goes in here that I'm just going to kind of get in. And I know that this is my line for her hand over there. All right, I'm going to get the cinnamon color. And I'm going to pull. This is also where it's very shadowed over here. And I may not do it as dark as the illustrator did here. Okay, and then all right, and then I know this is her. Shoulder, and there's white on the jelly print, so that needs to stay white. It's just where the torn paper is. Can't believe Tay-Tay's not with us. But she's sleeping. Let me see if I can zoom the camera in. because now it's just going to be face work. Does it? It reminds me of photographs of my mom and dad when they were in high school. Okay. Is that better? All right, so I'm going to use the tip of the marker okay, and then this finger goes then this hand, the fingers, just trying to get the detail of the hands where the phone is. All right, I think I want to go ahead and cut this part of the phone off just to help me get that line. I wasn't too far off. Right, so right here where I misjudged the angle, I'm just going to wipe that back and hit it again. Okay. And then I think I'll put red nails. Just give it a little tip, like she's got red nails. That'll help distinguish the hand. All right, we'll let that dry. And then we'll add in the phone details with the gray. All right, so let's come up here. And I'm going to add a little bit of like a collarbone shadow. And a shadow where her neck and the top of her shoulder. The phone's going to go in part of this area. Okay. Now I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to snip away the top of the phone. Well, actually, I'm going to keep the phone and fold her hand back. And match that up. Yeah, I was right there. And let's see. I'm just going to kind of soften that. Okay. I need to put the black on and pull away from her hand. I'm not worried about if I get it on the background because I can get it off of that. I'm just trying to get a gray color right now so that I can go back in with the black and add details. Okay, so let's clean up the background area. Where that came off the phone. All right, I'm going to let that black dry. And then we'll come in and we'll add some details to the phone, the cord. I think I'm good with her hand. And I don't even know how the cord went, to be honest. I'm assuming it went like this. Something like that. Okay. Let that dry on the dress. I'm going to clean up this bottom of the cord. I think I hit the right area. We'll make it work. And it's kind of got a dark base. Actually, I think it's got a little area that should not be black. Right here. What I'll pull out. There we go. And I'll add brown, like the background. And then we'll add the black. Okay, I think that's good for the phone. Alright, let that dry. Leave my fingers off before I touch her face. I'm getting close to wanting to put the phone in her hand, the other end. What I need to do first is, again, there's a little area that's not her hand, that's background. So I'm going to put this down and fold away her face and put just a little, I think I'll use that same brown. It's kind of golden brown. It's not really the color. It's not really the color that's in that part of the background. Okay, now what I can do is put her hand back, and this is the edge of her face. Okay. Just trying to okay, I'm going to go ahead and put the phone in because I think Okay. And there's the beginning. To the end. We can put the red in her nails back in then. Okay, and I want to take some of that. There we go. Okay, and then we're going to go to the end of the phone. Right here is where the cord goes. All right, so it looks like she's using a phone. We need some more of this brown in here. Which matches the background. Okay. This line needs to come out. Okay. Need to put some more of the light color back in. And her chin is right here. And her neckline is kind of right in there. Okay, let's get the black put away. Get the red and put in. Just this one nail and one nail up there. Okay. I need her ear kind of in here. Right. Need to do a brown for her hair. She's got a little bit of a widow's peak. Okay, I'm just going to lighten some of that and come back in and darken it in areas. I don't like the hairline. Personally, I just don't like that widow's peak. A little too exaggerated, maybe. It'll get better when she gets more of a face. It's probably driving Dot crazy. I think I'm going to bring this out as a bun more. Or the back of a ponytail. Actually, I think I'll do that. And I might even give her some kind of bow, like ribbon, and then I'll make it turquoise when it's dry. Okay. Okay, now the hard part. The eyes, she's looking down, so this is actually going to be a little easier. I'm going to give myself a reference for proportions. So I'm going to, yeah, I'm good as far as, yeah. The other thing I'm going to do is fold back her face in half and see if I'm hitting, yeah, I'm okay with that. I think it made her more youthful. Sometimes when the tip's not good on the marker, it can be hard to get the the eyebrows. And there's going to be eyelashes along, like liner eyelashes down, because her eyelashes are down on her cheek. Noses are really hard. Okay, I'm gonna take a little bit of, I'm not gonna really put like a whole lot of lipstick on her. And then let's go in and put in her eyelashes. All right, then I'm gonna turn that upside down real quick. And sometimes when I can't get in an area, a lighter color marker can be used in to move or pick up. Add a little bit of brown back to that eyebrow. Okay. Okay. And what I might need to do is just give her a real pale, almost like an eyeshadow color. Oh, they didn't wear blue eyeshadow back then. They didn't wear a lot of eyeshadow. I think I'll just take this more blush. And see, this is where I get picky. Where you guys can't even see. So there. It's her face. We need a little bit more definition for her neck and her ear. I'm gonna more blush, and then I'm gonna put just a little bit of gray in here for her nose. And I think I'm going to sign it and call it done. All right, let me back the camera out. I'll hold it up. I'm going to back it out so you can see the whole piece. But then I'll hold it up so you can see close up some of the details. Put those away, out of my way. Oh, we want to add turquoise to her bow. And then I'm going to add some black right into kind of in the, to give it shadow. I think that looks good. Gives an illusion that she's got her hair pulled back. I think it makes her a little more youthful. Oh, cherries. We want to put the cherries on the skirt. All right, so let's put down here. She's got 3 cherries. Okay, we'll let that paint pen dry. And then she's got a cluster of cherries up here. Too. Her arm is covering part of it. Okay, so let's get the black paint pen for the parts that are black. That's not the right paint pen. Okay, and then we'll take the green and hit, no, wrong green. We'll take the green and hit the leaves. And then we'll take the red and hit the cherries. And then I'm going to take a darker, kind of a burgundy red. And hit the edges of the cherries. Just to make them more rounded. All right. that. Shove all this out of the way. And I'll give you a close-up. Hopefully it'll show up in the camera. So, yeah, it reminds a lot of people of paper dolls. But that's my project for June 1950s across the decades. Later on when it's good and dry, I'll put a coat of varnish. On this one, I'm probably going to put a matte varnish. Yeah, I think the cherries are cute. I know it's hard to see, but it gives it that little detail. And it brings that pop of red down here. All right, let me stop the